Hey everybody, I'm Marlon with Chronic Pain Warriors United. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. It's a beautiful Tuesday here in Birmingham, Alabama. Hope you have nice, beautiful weather wherever you are. Before we jump into the video real quick this afternoon, I want to do a little house cleaning. To all y'all who've left kind words and messages in the shorts, I want to say thank you. I appreciate it very much. Also, be sure to remember to hit the like and subscribe button during the video or afterwards. Hitting the like button especially seems to be one of the only ways to get the algorithm gods to disperse the video. So I'd really appreciate that. And then last, we got our new Chronic Pain Warriors pins in. Check these out. I hope you can see it pretty well there. I'll give away 5 of these to the first 5 commenters at the end of the video. So, jumping right into it, I did a short not long ago talking about how chronic pain and living with it for extended periods of time, years on end, like many of us with chronic pain do. That's the nature of it. That's, the definition of chronic. Now, there are some people who live with chronic pain for years, and then finally their doctor or somebody figures out what's wrong, and they're able to do something to alleviate that pain. And that's amazing when it happens. But it's pretty rare for the most part, right? So the nature of chronic pain in of itself is that we live with it for extended periods of time. And that has a big impact on who we are as people and how we live our lives. And I just wanted to talk about some of the ways it changed my life and who I am today in some ways. And I bet that a lot of y'all out there will be able to identify in many ways. And that's something that's kind of like a recurrence, right? A lot of us, if not all of us, are living a very similar shared life experience. And that's one reason why we wanted to create Chronic Pain Warriors United in the first place, is to show people that they're not alone and that there's a lot of us out here living these experiences with you. So just jumping right into it, I'm going to go through some of the biggest ways it's changed me and how I look and view the world. Now, first and foremost, it's changed how I feel physically. It's changed my body. I used to be a healthy, active individual. I was into sports, singing when I could, hip hop, music, all that kind of stuff. Pretty active. Bit introverted, but I liked being out and doing things and being part of things. And all that is gone now. I have to be very careful with the activities I do. I don't have the energy to go out and do the physical things I used to, even if I wanted to, and even if they were safe. Like, I can go out and shoot basketball and stuff like that, but I can't get into a court and actively play because somebody checks me in my face and the damage to my face and jaw joints could be, it could be really bad. So those are like the types of things I just can't risk. So it's changed how I interact with the world physically and how I feel physically. I feel drained a lot of the time, frankly, because from the moment we get up, right, to the moment we lay our heads down at night, when we have chronic pain and chronic illness, it's a fight. Sometimes it feels like every step is a fight, but all of that is just gone. That's how it was in the past, and this is where I'm at now. And I've lived like that for so long now that I don't even really remember what it was like to live the other way. And like I just said, it's drastically changed how I live my life. I have to do all kinds of things that I never did before, like physical movements and how we talk, chew, our hands and body and arms and legs move, how we move, how our body works. It's usually like a non-conscious thing. You don't think about it. It just happens. But with me and my type of injury and many other people with, joint, back, and other things like that, injuries or problems, you do have to be aware of your movements. For me, it's my face. I have to be almost constantly aware of how I'm actually moving my face around, how I'm talking, how my teeth come together, how my joints move. And it's like a hyper awareness nowadays because I've done it for over 10 years now. Well, closer to 13 years in total, but well over 10 years now. And it's just been a constant thing. I always am aware of what's going on, how I feel, and how I move. And I never had to do that before. Like I said, it's supposed to be a non-conscious thing. I'm not able to live the life that I used to live. You know, I'm not able to be nearly as active as I used to be, like I said, not just with sports and physical activities, but the actual, like going out to a club and hanging out with friends, or going out to dinner with a group of buddies. Those things, while they aren't physically taxing and they don't represent a danger per se, they are emotionally and mentally taxing and draining, especially when they come with, you know, questions and judgment that we perceive. A lot of times it's not even there, but we perceive it. A lot of times it is there. And on top of that, we don't want to make plans with you for the 50th time to tell you, sorry, I can't come again. This came up. I just don't feel like it. How many, I laugh, but how many of y'all out there know what I'm talking about, right? You got this friend or buddy or whatever that you love. You know, you've known each other for years, long before you were with chronic pain or whatever came upon you. And you used to be able to do those things they're wanting to do. But now, you know, you've canceled 10, 12, you know, it feels like you're just canceling over and over again. And you get to a point you just don't want to do that anymore. So we just stop even hanging out or reaching out altogether. I always liked my isolation times at some points. I call it monk mode. But I also needed those people interactions to help me recharge and reframe. And today, a lot of that's gone. I mean, apart from the social work I do and the work I'm trying to do in this movement, I don't have a contact with a lot of people in my private life. I have a couple of very close, very good friends who also live a very shared experience, and that's who I keep. So that drastically changed how I live that life. Another way that it changed me completely, and we're getting close to the end now, was I'm going for 3 or 4 big ways. It changed how I look at the future. And that happened when my fiance decided to leave. We'd been together for about 4 years. We'd been engaged to be married for like 2.5 years, maybe a little more than that, when she left. And that's when it clicked. I went through the 5 stages of grief again, which many of us will go through several times when we deal with chronic pain. But I went through the stages of grief again, and then it finally sunk in. My future is going to be very different than what I imagined. I always wanted kids, you know, a family. My dad, rest in peace, Dad, was a big family guy. He was huge on family. And he instilled that into me for sure. And I always wanted my own kids, my wife, a house, blah, blah, blah. The American dream. But then I realized, you know, I was still having, you know, problems accessing the pain management system when she left. And I realized that's always going to be the case. I may be in pain management today, but that's not to say my doctor isn't gone tomorrow for 1,000 reasons they leave. So it's like, can I really bring kids into a world with me or take a wife to me into my life when that stability is not guaranteed? And the huge swings that can come with this life, even when pain is well managed, which the vast majority of people's isn't today. So that's just the one biggest way that I realized my future was going to be very, very different than I had planned for and what I wanted in my early 20s. And even then, in my late 20s, when we were together, I still was sticking to that idea of the future. And when she left, I realized that that's very Pollyannish for me personally. There are tons of us out there that suffer with high impact chronic pain that can have that life and do. But for me personally and the way I am, I just don't know if that's in the cards. And that really kind of messed with me mentally for quite a long time. And then last, it changed who I was as a person mentally. I was never like a super happy-go-lucky, positive outlook on life type of dude. I had more of like a Solomon's view on life. There's nothing new under the sun, that type of thing. And go and read Ecclesiastes. It's a pretty dark view of the world, but a lot of it is very realistic. And that's what my dad used to call me. He'd say, nah, you're not dark, son. You're just realistic. And I just have a really, back before all this, I had a pretty jaded view of the world and people in general. The systems that come up around us and that control us. But having lived with this for so many years now and contended with those systems and had those systems all but destroy my life and make it near impossible for me to live a quality life, that jaded and dark mindset has become much more than it was when I was a younger man. There's a lot of anger there. There's a lot of frustration, and those things didn't exist in that way when I was younger. So it's changed me a lot mentally, and that changes how I interact with people in the world as well. So that's just some of the biggest ways that chronic pain changed me in my life. Please get down into the comments, leave us your stories, let us know how what changes you've noticed over time, if any, how it changed you, how it changed your life. Your story, like I say at the end of every video, your stories, just like you, are unique and special, and people seeing and hearing those stories makes a big difference. I've seen a lot of comments in the comment section from people seeing your stories saying, this is outrageous. I never knew this was happening. And that is the goal, everybody. It is working. We are growing slowly. I'm hoping that we start to build some momentum and really, these videos start getting shared as I figure out more how to deal with the algorithm. I also am trying to put out better content, more specific to this problem for us. And I'm trying to reinforce the idea that this is a movement, a grassroots movement built by us to demand reform from our government and our medical leaders. That is the main goal, and your stories are a huge part of that. So please leave your stories in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I've got 5 of the Chronic Pain Warriors United pins to give away in the comments below. The first 5 to comment, if you want one, I'll hit you up in the comments here in a day or so, and we'll get your information and get it sent out to you. By the way, y'all can always reach us at chronicpainwarriorsunited.org@gmail.com. I'm Marlon with Chronic Pain Warriors United. Y'all be safe, be well, and be blessed. We'll see y'all real soon. Cheers.